plan itself. This is a really nice little template that I've used for a long time, and it has 6 steps to developing a lesson plan. And Karen, you've probably used something very similar to this, and essentially what you're going to do today is you'll have a slide in here that has these 6 items, and you're just going to look at the first 3 and talk about the first 3, and then you're going to decide who's kind of divide and conquer for the content, because you're going to bring the content next week. So let's talk a little bit about step 1. Who is it that's going to be watching your video? Who do you expect to be watching your video? Think about who they are, their educational levels, their abilities, their prior knowledge, their attitudes, the group characteristics. By that I mean, are they heterogeneous or homogeneous? Heterogeneous is that they're all over the place. They have a wide range of experience, and so you have to, you can't be too advanced, or you can't be too simple. You have to be able to reach a broader group of people, whereas homogeneous is that they're fairly similar. So if you decide that the kind of people that you're aiming for are sustainability management students who are already halfway through their curriculum, their courses, then they might be pretty homogeneous, even though they come from a wide background, and some of them are a lot older or a lot younger or whatever, but at least they have a similar educational levels and whatever. And then there's learning preferences. Do they like learning hands-on, or do they like learning in groups? What are their learning preferences there? And again, obviously, if they're coming to watch your video, they're probably visual learners there. So, or else they wouldn't be coming to see the video. Okay, the second thing is to develop the objectives. The question is, when they're finished watching your video, what do you want them to be able to do? And by that is, what is it that if you were to go and interview them after watching the video, what do you want to see? What do you want them to be able to do at that point in time? And objectives have an action verb, content, and a couple of other things potentially or optionally there. So how will you know when your student has learned the knowledge or skill? What can you see when they've learned it? So can they do a gap analysis on what they need to, can they figure out what they need to know? Can they figure out how to network, whatever it is that you have in your training? And what level of learning should they have? Now, considering that this is only a 5-minute video, you're probably not going to get them up to the highest level, but depending on the experience that they already have, they might be able, we're kind of hoping that they'll be able to use the information that you give them in order to solve problems, which is actually a fairly high level of learning. How well do you want them to know it there? How fast, how accurate? Again, 5-minute video, you need to be realistic. So there are 2 essential parts to an objective. There's the action verb, which is the behavior you're going to observe, and the content, which is on Green Careers. There are 3 optional parts: who the audience is, if it's not clear. Because remember, what you're going to be doing at the end of this, you're going to be putting this up on YouTube. And you probably know that when you put it up on YouTube, there's a description that goes in there. You want to be able to say, this video is for this group of people, and it will provide you with this level of learning. You'll be able to do this kind of thing when you do that. So you'll put that in the description in your YouTube video. These 3 things are optional there. Here's some examples of some action verbs that you might use in your objectives. So you may want them to determine what they need to learn, You may want them to describe what goes into the particular career. Those are the kinds of things that you might, and you're not gonna have a lot of objectives in a 5-minute video. Maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe just 1. Whatever you do, do not ever use "the student will understand" or "the student will know" or "the student will learn," because you can't observe that. You can't tell whether or not they've learned it or not. Okay, and that's objectives. And then step 3 is logistics, and that is where you take a look at the class setup, the group size, the timing, the resources needed. So fortunately, it's very easy for you because it's a video. So the group size is 1. So that makes that pretty easy. The timing, how long do you need for them to be able to do it? I've already set that as kind of 5 minutes. Do they need any resources there? When we do training later on this semester, or this mod, you'll be doing physical to download a little worksheet, that helps them do whatever it is there. So, think about what resources you might need. If you were doing some training for it, I'm just covering this because training is a really big part of sustainability management. If you're a manager, you need to be able to develop training when it's needed. And so when you develop that training, you need to assess whether or not they've learned it. And so you need to make sure it's an authentic assessment. In other words, you don't want to give them a test if what they need to be able to do is use a piece of equipment. You want them to show that they've used the piece of equipment. And it should accurately measure what it is they're supposed to know. Now, in a 5-minute video, you're probably not going to do too much in assessment. At most, I would imagine that you would say at the end, now that you've learned all of this, you should be able to do this. And if not, go look at these other resources. So we're really going to be pretty much skipping a step 4. Okay, so now how do you figure out what goes into the career? This is the content step of the lesson planning. And I'm going to go out of this and go into another set of slides that I created last year for our academic advisors, because thanks to Karen, actually, Karen was the impetus for this. I found out that our advisors don't know anything about sustainability management, and they were directing some of our students away from this program. And that upset me tremendously. And so I created this slide deck so that we could cover, so I could share it with them. And I've had a hard time even getting it in front of them. So they still may not know enough about our career field, but I keep trying. But because you all are going to want to select in your teams either a specific career field or something, something tangible that you can cover in 5 minutes, I thought I would share with you what I was sharing with the academic advisors, that yes, indeed, there are a lot of green careers that students can go into from this program. And so this was what I gave to them. Okay, this is still a rapidly growing field. One of the things that at least I try to do, folks, is not make it based on politics and who's in the administration, because there are a lot of things that you can do regardless of who is in the administration. So green jobs are actually in demand and can pay a premium because they can help us with the triple bottom line. So to help improve profit, to take care of people, and to help stay out of trouble with the planet there. And everybody wants to do that. And again, this was for the advisors, you all know what the sustainable development goals are, and you know there are careers in each one of these. But the advisors don't know, and so I wanted to share with them how broad this career field was. So there are a wide, varied, and fascinating jobs that graduates can get into, and the really neat thing is this: they are jobs with purpose, and therefore our students, our graduates, are very passionate about this. So what are the different areas that you can go into? There's affordable and clean energy. Not only just the renewables, but also energy efficiency. And believe it or not, nuclear is a very clean energy source, although you do have to worry about some of the issues with there, but it is in fact a very clean source of energy in terms of the climate. And even natural gas is a heck of a lot less. That's how we met, even though we didn't, even though we withdrew from the Paris Climate Accords. We were the only country that met the goals because we were in the process of changing over to natural gas, and that cut our emissions by about 1/3. So, and we have these kinds of this kind of training that can help you attain that. You know, our building construction technology, engineering technology, NEAA, and sustainability management. I'm not going to go into this for every single one of these, but I just for this first one to let you see it there. So there's affordable and clean energy. There is ecotourism. Yay, Karen! Ecotourism. Green hotels, green restaurants, parks, adventure travel. You know, we still do have a couple of hospitality courses, not enough. There's still a few environmental science courses that we have. We do have a Green Innovation Certificate that Karen's taken one of the courses from that. And at any rate, we try to cover it in sustainability management as well. Restoring the environment. This is what nonprofits and cities and communities do, and sustainable development construction companies. And so we have stuff that can, courses that can help you with that. Then we have sustainable agriculture, which includes not only the technology that goes into farming, cutting edge technology, but also, you know, food security and food waste are things that are concerns with sustainable agriculture. We have responsible consumption and water. This is Dr. Weaver's field, is water. And the responsible consumption is the zero waste area, the life cycle assessment. There's a lot of opportunities for learning how to do and doing life cycle assessment. And then there's water conservation and clean water. And we have a lot of things that can help with that. But just to go back to what you're going to be looking at, if you wanted to go into water quality and get a job with the city or county in water quality, we an environmental science technology AS that would do that. That has been eliminated from our program. So if somebody wanted to do that, what would they need to do? Where would they go to get that education? You know, because we used to have it, the perfect thing, and there wasn't enough interest. That what they found was that the employers wanted bachelor's degrees. So I'm going, so why did you eliminate the courses? The courses were useful. Our students were taking them. But at any rate, so that's the thing. You have to find out what it is that students would need if they wanted to go into that field. Sustainable cities and communities. There's sustainability and resilience departments. There's also all what they usually do is they farm it out to companies that will, you know, bid on projects for the cities and counties for doing these various things for smart cities. And you'll be learning more about smart cities a little bit later in the semester, but it's something you're interested in, and you can look up what it goes into, the Lead for Cities and Communities, or FGBC, Florida Green Building Council, had Cities and Communities standard. Transportation, including things like mass transit and bicycles, cruises and airlines, there we go. So, and making those greener, eco-friendly, and there's still an interest in that, because there's cost savings that can be made, with having lighter weight airplanes that are still safe. There's also, we keep ignoring the social side of sustainability, but you notice in the Sustainable Development Goals, there is no poverty, there is health, there is no hunger, there was equality and quality education. There's a bunch of social sustainability things, and so there are jobs in that as well. There's affordable housing. My church right now is building some affordable housing. There's taking care of food deserts and working on health of low-income communities and helping them grow economically. So there's opportunities there. And then, of course, we've been studying a lot of sustainable standards, and all those sustainable standards need both someone in the organization that can help someone prepare for that standard, and third-party raters that can evaluate them. And so there's B Corp, ISO, LEED, GRI, CITES, WELL. Some of those we're going to look at. Some of them you have looked at already, like LEED, and others we're going to look at BISMOD. There's a lot of opportunities there. There's opportunities in every small business. Because buildings plus transportation are 2/3 of the CO2, and 99% of the businesses in our country are small businesses, and so every single entrepreneur and every single frontline manager can bring sustainability to that job. And if they get the job, they can say, look, what I can do for you, Mr. Employer, I can help you, like we were doing earlier with the restaurants and the home construction, whatever. I can help you be more sustainable, which gives you an edge in getting those jobs. Any business can be more sustainable. And we're going to do a lot of this semester: process improvement, facility improvement, energy efficiency, product design, social entrepreneurship, sustainable education and training, which is what Dr. Weaver and I do, resource use and waste, transportation, supply chain, green marketing, green HR, green IT, all of those things. You can go into that job and say, I can bring something a very special set of skills to this job. And then this is the courses that we have. Remember, I was doing this for our advisors, so I said, see, this is what we do. It's wonderful. I did want to point out that LEED Lab, and Karen can talk about LEED Lab because she's done it. We've now, because of all the